What's up, Israel? It's your girl, Samar. Get in this van. Let's take a ride down memory lane. Sometimes I share a little bit of my history with you guys, right? So, one of the things I never told you guys was this: I'm raised by my aunt, right? Yeah. My mama's sister. I think I told you guys that. But what I didn't tell y'all is this: my mother's sister was a pastor. Yeah. From the kind of church where they start playing that music. You know, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about, shouting and carrying on it. And you really think that you're doing something in those type of places. I was raised in a Pentecostal church, open door church of God and Christ. That's what I was raised in. The woman who raised me was a pastor. Mhm. She don't open that Old Testament though, y'all. Oh no, because somebody came to save us. You don't need to read that. So I wanted to take that trip down memory lane to tell y'all this. My whole life, I was told a son was going to be coming to save me. And it wasn't until I did my own damn research, okay? Because I never let anybody blindly lead me, okay? Learn my lesson from some of that. Samar don't let nobody blindly lead her. As a matter of fact, Samar said she was going to sit down and let Mama open this book up to her. And you best believe Mama done opened this book up to us on this front line. Everybody in this van know what time it is. Just you don't. You don't. 95% of YouTube, they don't know. I'm going to tell you right now, 95% of YouTube looking for some sun to save them. It might be more than that. You know, I might be being generous here. And then they'll make the mistake of coming on over here to me to try to tell me that some son is out here to save me. Like, that has not been force fed to me. I'm 47 years old, guys. I found out no son was coming to save me a little over 3 years ago. I had been believing a son was coming to save me for well over 40 years, guys. Maybe 38, 40, something to that effect, a very long time. So don't come over here on the front line trying to force feed me no JC. Oh no, please don't. Save JC for yourself. I'm a woman. My headship is my mama. All right? I'm looking for the tales of the Sarahs that came here, that were here. Sorry, not came here, that were here when they came here, that were leading our villages. Okay? I'm not our civilizations. They might be giving us the word village just to kind of make it sound like it was some flunky stuff. You know what I mean? But I don't want to get caught up in words. Whatever type of society we had, whatever we called it, when they came in here and invaded us, when we had husbandmen and we had Sarahs, I'm looking for that. That's the history I want. Don't JC me. Please don't. I think everybody amongst me know already. We ain't looking for no JC. So you can keep your JC, your king, and you can go on over there with him. I don't give a damn what color you try to give him to me in either. Okay? So listen, guys, y'all are like, why is Samar wound up? Because I get real angry when people try to force feed me this JC character, man, this son coming to save me, or king, or whatever else. I just get wound up because I'm very passionate about finding my herstory, okay? Because there's some woman tales out there. You understand what I'm saying? Where's the Califias? Where's the Anacanias from Anacanana? Sorry, I might be messing her name up. She's a Haitian queen, man. Where are these stories at? You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to hear no more stories about some son coming to save me, some fallen son, okay? Because over here, we discovered that the sons are actually carrying a Y, okay? So you can't be cursed and coming to save me. It don't work both ways, homie. Sorry to bust your bubble. Guys, in this background picture this week, I have the scepter. All right? Time to get back into this family feud thing, this oil thing, guys. Because JC got a lot to do with it. Y'all see that scepter in the back? That pipeline? Yeah. Let me tell you something. That right there is their money maker. They got to get back to it. When Stephen left here, Stephen showed them where it was. Stephen gave them the access to this. Okay? He took the money and made the kingdom of Hungary. But I showed you guys how Stephen married Gisela of Bavaria, right? Y'all remember? Good old Gisela of Bavaria was married to Stephen, right? Well, guys, this right to this pipeline, the current administration, look at Stephen with that sun behind his head, right? The Christ child, right? Listen, y'all know that they feel that this right to rule, see that patriarchal cross, is theirs. And I tend to think they're running out of money and it's time to get back underground. Get back to digging. Look what Stephen's got in his hand. That orb and that pipeline. You see it? Look at what's in his hand. The scepter is in Stephen's hand. That is this pipeline in the background. He's showing you he has control of it. The scepter shall not depart, right? What did it tell us? The scepter shall not depart from Judah. So I imagine anybody in control of this scepter got to be Judah, right? Nor a lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh. Shiloh means to whom it belongs. Until Shiloh comes. And unto them. KJV, he don't like when it say her, right? Shall the gathering of the people be. Okay? We're going to make it plain over here on the front line today, guys. We're going to make it real plain. One of my homies in the comments one day said, make it plain, sis. Make it plain. Thank you for that. That hyped me up. Let's make it plain over here, front line. All right, so the scepter ain't going to depart. So this scepter in the background, connecting from Port Arthur up into Canada, that scepter right there, guys, ain't going to depart from Judah. And we know that Judah is linked to Bavaria, right? You see that scepter? You see it in Stephen's hand, right? And you see his bride, Gisela of Bavaria, aka New Swabia. She is the piece to this puzzle tonight. Watch what I tell you. First, guys, I want to start right here in 1 Samuel 8. All right? And it came to pass when Samuel was old that he made his sons judges over Israel. Now the name of the firstborn was Joel, and the name of the second was Abiah. They were judges in Beersheba. I question if these were sons too, guys, but I ain't going to do that to y'all right here. I'm not going to do that to y'all. I told you if I can't prove it, I won't bring it here. And his sons, no matter what, this was a lineage from Samuel, right? And the sons walked not in his ways, but turned aside after lucre, and took bribes, and perverted judgments. Then all the elders of Israel gathered themselves together, and came to Samuel unto Ramah, and said unto him, so they're in Ramah, so we know this is Israel, this ain't Judah, and said unto him, behold, thou art old, and thy sons walk not in thy ways. Now make us a king to judge us, like all the nations. Here go the problem. But this thing displeased Samuel, when they said, give us a king to judge us. And Samuel prayed unto the Lord. And the Lord said unto Samuel, hearken unto the voice of the people, in all that they say unto thee. For they have not rejected thee, but they have rejected me, that I should not reign over them, according to all the works which they have done, since the day that I brought them up out of Egypt, even unto this day, wherewith they have forsaken me, and served other gods. So do they also unto thee. Now therefore hearken unto their voices, howbeit yet protest solemnly unto them, and show them the manner of the king they shall reign over them. Okay? So even though they're asking for him, the Creator says, I want them to fully understand what they're asking for. And Samuel told all the words of the Lord unto the people that asked of him a king. A king. Okay? And he said, this will be the manner of the king that shall reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them for himself, for his chariots, to be his horsemen. And some shall run before his chariots and get trampled over. Okay? And he will appoint him captains over thousands, and captains over fifties, and will set them to ear his ground, and to reap his harvest, and to make his instruments of war, and instruments of his chariots. And he will take your daughters to the confectionaries, and to be cooks, and to be bakers. Okay, we got stuck in the kitchen. And he will take your fields, and your vineyards, and your olive yards, and even the best of them, and give them to his servants. Didn't he take the fields? Huh? Didn't he take the vineyards? He's trying to take more. Let's keep going. And he will take the tenth of your seed, and of your vineyard, and give to his officers, and to his servants. And he will take your men servants, and your maid servants, and your goodliest young men, and your asses, and put them to work. He'll take a tenth of your sheep. Ye shall be his servants. Who instituted the tenth, guys? Stephen. Saint Stephen, Stephen the First, Stephen the Moor, a.k.a. Bach, okay, a.k.a. Juan Garrido, okay, Handsome John, instituted the tithe. This is why the church loved Stephen. Stephen got that big old crown, man, from Pope, who was it, Leo? They loved Stephen because Stephen came up with the idea to take the tenth. The Creator already prophesied this. And ye shall cry out in the day because of your your king, which ye shall have chosen you, and the Lord will not hear you in that day. All right? Never is the Lord hearing us right now? Is the Creator hearing us right now? I'm sure many of us are like, what in the hell When in the hell can we be relieved of this? Because every day it has gotten worse. When you think it can't get worse, you turn on the TV and it's worse. And I don't know about you, but these people look unstoppable. And I'm very thankful for this Y curse because I don't know what we would have done without this. These folks are running out of control. I'm thankful that for dust they are, and unto the dust they shall return. I'm really thankful for that. Thank you, Mama. They're going to take a tenth man, and ye shall cry out in the day because of your king, which ye shall have chosen you, and the Lord won't hear you. Nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel. And they said, Nay, but we will have a king over us. Don't they want one to this day? You got some folks on this platform looking for kings to return, whether it's JC, David, whoever the hell, crunchy, whatever crunchy hand. Okay? You got folks over there wishing Stephen will jump up out the grave. It's always a king with these people. The people refused, said, Nay, we will have a king over us, that we also may be like all the nations, and that our kings may judge us, and go out before us and fight our battles. These kings wasn't fighting these battles. And Samuel heard all the words of the people, and he rehearsed them in the ears of the Lord. And the Lord said to Samuel, Hearken unto their voice, make them a king. And Samuel said unto the men of Israel, Go ye every man unto his city. Okay? They wanted this king. They wanted it. And they got exactly what they're looking for. And we still want a king over us. These lunatics, if I even got into politics, man, they would have signed their own death warrant, essentially. And are happy to tell you they did it. I stay out of it because I don't have no horse in the race. I look at politics like a vending machine. All right, I done worked hard all day, and I see everybody lined up at that machine waiting for a cold soda to come out. They put their dollar in, they get a cold soda. Somehow my behind get up there. Somehow my black ass get up there, and I can't get a soda to come out the machine. I put a dollar in, I put another dollar in, thinking, well, maybe that dollar was something was wrong with my dollar. I don't want to be embarrassed other people behind me. And I put my next dollar in, nothing's coming out of that machine. I gave up on that machine. So glad I woke up. That was before even mama woke me up. That I realized, hey, something ain't right about this. This ain't working for me. Let's keep going. So let's get to our current king. Because whether or not people want to admit that that's, what a president is, that's pretty much what a president is. Okay. It's, it's almost like an emperor here is kind of like the setup because it's almost Roman like with the Congress when you factor in the Congress. It's a Roman system. You understand what I'm saying? So let's get into the background of this gentleman right here. All right. This guy right here's grandfather came to the U.S. as an unaccompanied minor. Did you know that? I just want to get down to some of this story because you guys got to hear some of this. The packed steamship of the SS Elder, that's a good name, huh? Arrived in New York City, my city, Castle Garden, the country's first immigration center. So this is the first immigration center that this man's folks came through. Now, ain't that a slap in the face? But they won't call themselves immigrants now, will they? No, they're not going to do that. But I get to call myself an immigrant, right? If I use the term African American, that's me being forced to call myself an immigrant, but I can prove my people were here before this. Oh, yes, I can. I certainly can. So why do I got to call myself an immigrant? Because you so called kidnapped me from Africa? But I got Olone blood, huh? Go figure. That's the people that got wiped off their land in California and got sent on over to South Carolina. I know where my people come from. Play that game with somebody else. A lot of my people know where they come from. We've woken up, okay? That's why there's this assault against wokeness. All right. So these people came over on the SS Elder in the first immigration center, okay? All right. Hundreds of would be Americans, but I can prove my people were here before this year. But these would be Americans from where? Germany. This would be American is from Germany. Came here as an unaccompanied minor. Traveled for 10 days across the North Atlantic. So you made a transatlantic you made a transatlantic trip actually to your new home. Among them was a skinny, light-haired 16-year-old who had left his hometown, a small wine-making village where working hard meant just getting by. This meant that you was tilling. You had to till. You had to earn it by the sweat of your brow there. Friedrich stood on the deck waiting for the first glimpse of the harbor. All right. This is from the book Three Generations That Built an Empire, okay? He didn't have much. The young barber's apprentice had bought only some clothes crammed in a small suitcase. He didn't even know English. But this guy just made this the official language. Boy, what a turnaround. My, how much a difference. My, what a difference less than 2 centuries makes. He couldn't possibly have known English, Blair told the Washington Post. He didn't have anything like a high school diploma. He was literate, but in German, okay? In less than 2 centuries. Now you are the English king. Go figure. But his arrival marks the beginning of the family life. Adventure and misadventure in the United States. They just got here. You just got here. Years later, the teenager would begin amassing his fortune. He would marry. Now, this right here, guys, this is why we are here. Look who he married. Let me zoom in. Y'all got to. Elizabeth Christ, a girl from his hometown. Now, remember, y'all, this was a small town, okay? But he comes all the way to the big United States, finds a girl from his hometown who's named Elizabeth Christ. This is Drill Baby Drill, number 4547's grandmama's name. It's a girl from Friedrich's hometown. Together they had 3 children. The second child is this guy, the daddy of 4547, would expand the family's real estate portfolio by building housing developments in the 1940s and 50s. All right, by skyrocketing housing developments and skyrocketing rents, he built it because he had unscrupulous practices. He would marry Mary Ann. He married Mary. And together they would have 5 children. The fourth child is, ding, 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 the most famous in the family. They said then number 45, but we know now number 47, whose hardline, listen to this, immigration policies would have prevented his family's patriarch from coming to the United States. You see that? They said that his own policies would have prevented his own line from getting in here. I don't believe that actually currently because he has a preference for some countries and not for others. So I think his line would get in here. Under today's policies, he would have been considered an unaccompanied minor or an unaccompanied alien child. Unless his older sister, he had a relative here already, had been appointed his guardian. All right. Under President Obama, he would have got the rocket docket, they say. See that? They would have expedited his removal and prioritized it. Oh, but let's get down to some of his background because this village is very important, okay? This guy was born in Karlstad, a village of less than 1,000 people in a region in southwest here, okay? Here. Why don't they say they're German American? That would be more appropriate. They got here on a transatlantic trip from Germany. His family was not wealthy, not even middle class by modern standards. They owned and ran a small vineyard. But when his father died when he was 8, the family of 6 children was left deeply in debt. Okay, the siblings, they were indentured servants probably. The siblings who were old enough to work helped in the vineyard, and they scraped money to buy bacon bread. The youngest of the sons was too frail to work in the vineyard, so his mother sent him to a neighboring town and learned to become a barber. He worked 7 days a week. Okay. At some point, he realizes that this town is too small to need another barber, so he would serve in the military, which is a requirement by the German government. So he dodges a draft there, possibly, right? He doesn't want to serve in the military. He's going to have to. But to avoid it, he gets on a ship and comes to New York. Okay? The stifling lack of opportunity in the village seemed to close in on him. He had no choice but to leave, they're going to say. Okay? One night he wrote a note to his mother explaining he was going to the New World. Okay? In 1800s, this was the New World. By then, Stephen had already took the money and ran. They had started a new world over there. So some of the folks, I guess, that were under Stephen wanted to come to the New World and expand territories there. When Catherine woke up the next morning, her son was gone. He had traveled 350 miles to Bremen, Germany, the port city, where he paid the equivalent of $20 for a steerage class ticket. Okay, that was the lowest of the low on the SS Elder. Steerage class ticket holders were offered barely one meal a day. There were no baths and hardly any drinking water. By the time the SS Elder arrived at the Castle Garden Immigration Center in Manhattan 10 days later, keep that in mind, while they was taking months and months to get over this bullshit, 10 days later, the stench was so bad that a shipping and railroad tycoon who lived across the street complained about the smelly immigrants. Okay, so at one point, they were being complained about as smelly immigrants. America was dazzling in the imagination. This country had welcomed immigrants. It's the land of opportunity where people where it's possible to make an immense fortune, which was where someone from where someone were around zero chance of doing that in Germany in this little wine growing village. All right, this person came to the country during the big wave of German immigration to the United States. The 1880s to the early 1900s, told y'all this was not that long, was a period of high immigration for young immigrants under adult age. Okay, so they were sending them over here while they was under adult age. And it says a think tank on Latin American immigrants, particularly Northern Europeans, were not only welcome, they were needed. That's because they felt like they had a right to this land, thanks to Stephen. They had married into Stephen's lineage. They had heard about Stephen coming from this place. They wanted to see it. And they weren't only welcome, they were needed. Why were they welcome then? Because they come in through Stephen's line. They coming in through Judah's line. Although immigration was relatively free and open during the 18th and early 19th century, the federal government began placing restrictions on the number of immigrants. All right? They only wanted you from a certain amount of places, man. Don't forget, though, it ain't happened to Europe. Europe was welcome. Europe was not only welcome, but needed. Ain't they needed right now? Here, too, Grover Cleveland said this: "We've welcomed all who came to us from other lands except those whose moral or physical conditions or history threatened danger to our national welfare and safety. We encourage those, listen to this, coming from foreign countries to cast their lot with us." Where to go to? "And join us in the development of our vast domains, securing in return a share in the blessing of American citizenship." All right, so that's how they got their citizenship. New York City was in many respects a German city. Trump lived with his older sister, all right? It says right here, who moved to the United States the year before. He worked as a barber, but it wasn't enough. He moved to the Pacific Northwest years later to make a name and fortune for himself during the gold rush era. This was the black gold rush era. Okay, there was no gold, no going gold. This was the gold rush of black gold oil. He opened up businesses, hotels, taverns, and restaurants. He probably was in Tulsa taking over our shit. Well, not our shit, sorry, but Judah's shit. Sorry, I got all worked up about to get their narrative. That Tulsa would have been Judah's because we knew better than to siphon this oil out for money. We knew that it needed to remain in the ground. Israel knew it needed to remain in the ground. Judah exploited it and then showed these people it. So now they've run amok. And they believe they're Judah too through marriage. This is something I'm showing you guys. So he opened up hotels, taverns, and restaurants located in the red light district. Whorehouses. Okay, he got rich off of these whorehouses. I told y'all about these whorehouses at the frontier mining town. So he introduced the whores that that seduced Israel's men, basically. He was already shrewd enough and focused enough to realize that the money was mining the miners and not mining itself, said Blair, who was careful not to say that they ran brothels. And I think we don't quite know that. Okay? This is what they got rich off of. These folks right here. Brothels, it said at the end. What did Samar tell you? Didn't I tell you that it was all linked to these so-called mining towns when they were forcing us to work on railroads and all of this stuff? This was the labor. There was no cotton mines. I see cotton over here, guys, in Arizona being grown. So if cotton is being grown over here, guys, what were they doing in the South? You can't grow no cotton in the South like that, like talk about it. Listen, let's get to this name. What does this name mean right here, guys? I don't want to do too much. I don't want to get flagged too much by saying this name out. But this name is a baby's name of Gaelic, Scottish, and Celtic origin, meaning great chief. What I told y'all, yo. These folks like to take over Israel's right? So the woman's name in Israel was Sarah, right? That was the chief, okay? It means great chief and ruler or king of the world. Now, don't that second one seem to fit more like what his new agenda is? Like he came in as number 5 wanting to just be this, right? Just a great chief. That's all. Great. Great. Right? Because that great, he knows what he's doing. This time he wants to be ruler or king of the world. Listen, guys, I had some reservation about even covering this because this individual is running so much amok that he is. Some folks are being deported, okay? Some folks are being locked up or threatened of being locked up. It's getting wild out here just to even speak on this person. But if I wasn't rolling with mama, I guess I'd be afraid. But I'm not. I'm rolling with mama. She is the chief. She is the supreme over me. Okay? I don't bow my knee to no man. Because for dust you are, and unto dust you shall return. Unless you're Israel. So I don't fear him. So we doing this one. This centuries old name carries respect from the surname commonly used during the time. This surname during the time of this person. In Ireland and Scotland, a born leader in their own right. This individual can confidently steer their way through the world, taking great pride in their accomplishments along the way. Living up to that name, what? Let's see. There's a middle name. Did you know that? Yes. It's it's Juan. It's John. What was Stephen calling himself? He was calling himself John. Handsome John. John Garrido. Look at this. John is an ever popular name. It's a familiar and very traditional name with biblical origins. The name John is derived from the Hebrew name Yohanan, meaning graced by God. It is a solid, traditional name that exudes strength, responsibility, and kindness. So, yeah, we're digging a little deeper, aren't we? Now, I want to get to the grandmama, because remember, her name was Christ, Elizabeth Christ. She founded Elizabeth and Sons. See, they don't mention the mama, but see, what people fail to realize is these folks of Judah, they know it got to come through the mama. They know what time it is. It came through her. This was her money that they ran off and started brothels with. Come on now, stick with me, guys. But it is this name that is just really out there. That Christ, huh? Born of a Johannes too, right? See that? See? That also that Johannes was in her line as well. And there goes that Christ on both sides. These people are obsessed with this Johann Christ stuff. Trying to tell you something. Where are they getting this from? Is it from Karlstad? Is it from Bavaria? Let's get to the bottom of it, guys. Now, I want to get to this Elizabeth. Elisheba. The important names in the Bible were not given in random order. As the story concerning each character unfolds, we learn how closely connected is the name to the narrative. Haven't I been showing you guys that? Haven't we discovered? Hebron is Chevron, is Confederacy. We discovered these things. We discovered that Gihon is Gusher. We done discovered that these names was telling us stuff. Esther means spy, right, guys? So we've been going on. My name means guard, guys. This ain't random. Let's keep going. Provided that we focus on the Hebrew name, right? English, Spanish, Greek, Latin, along with other world languages, fall short in demonstrating how: one, the biblical name foreshadows the life event of each personality. The Hebrew name both mirrors and substantiates the truthfulness of biblical events and prophecies. Although reading the Bible in English is also perceived by some believers as reading truth, the immediate sense of substantiation is reflected in the mere Hebrew name, all right? It's surprising that quite a few women whose name is Elizabeth don't really know the meaning of their name. The Hebrew origin of this name is Elisheva. All right, that's that 7 again, right? That well of 7. Wasn't she involved with the oil, guys? Let's keep going. There is one Elisheva in the Old Testament, and Aaron took him Elisheba, daughter of Aminadab, sister of Nahshon, to wife. There is another Elisheva in the New Testament. They got to put it in the New Testament too, when they want to show that it has some credence, right? There was in the days of Herod, the king of Judea, that's Judah, a certain priest named Zacharias of the priestly division of Abijah. He had a wife of the daughters of Aaron. Didn't I tell y'all? She was from Aaron too, remember? Okay? You got to give it some credibility. And her name was Elizabeth. You see? That's it. One Elisheva per testament. Yet the meaning of this name is very divine. It's made up of 2 parts: Eli, right, and Shiva. The first part means my God, and the second is the number with the holy attributes. 7. Didn't I tell y'all? That well of 7. The ladies are always associated with the well in the water. In other words, the meaning of the name is my God of the 7th. We protected the well, guys. We knew that we didn't tap into this resource. Perhaps the 7th day. Listen to the end of this English name, Sabbath. Doesn't it sound like Sabbath day? Yeah, it does to me too. But it sounds more like 7 too. But that's why the Sabbath is on the 7th day. Shiva may also mean swear. Swear not to touch it, right? The meaning of the name then is, my God, I swear. We don't know for sure which of the 2 meanings was the original. We should leave it to each Elizabeth to choose from. Your contribution would be sharing these meanings with all Elizabeths that you know. Nah, I'm sharing this with Israel, because we need to know why they running around naming themselves this. They controlling the scepter. That's that 7. Never forget. That's that 7. Never forget it. Let's go back. So we digging a little deeper, right? We know now that Elizabeth is actually a Hebrew word. And we know the scepter has never departed from Judah. They are Judah, guys, and they are claiming it through Stephen. The scepter won't depart, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until the person to whom it belongs returns, and unto them shall be the gathering of the people. It ain't never been yours, Judah, but you gonna steal, because that's what you do. Now, check this out, right? I went to these people's Bavarian connection, guys, because I know I keep claiming there is a Bavarian connection, right? And I showed y'all Stephen with the orb, the patriarchal cross, right? But that orb is important. And that Palatine lion is important. The heralded charge. The herald, these are the people that, look, the Duke of Bavaria. There's a connection to Otto II. I think there's a greater connection to Stephen, truthfully. They got that Bavarian connection. You see? The Palatine lion. It's German. What did I tell you? The Palatine lion, less commonly. The Palinate lion is a heraldic charge. It was originally, who has the lion, guys? Judah. It was originally part of the family coat of arms of the House of Wittelsbach and is found today on many coat of arms of municipalities, counties, and regions in South Germany and Austria. There goes the Austrian connection to Stephen, a German American businesswoman. In 1902, she married this guy who died in 1918. After his death, she co founded the real estate development company with their sons to manage and increase their real estate holdings. She took over those brothels, okay? They came out of Karlstadt, the Palinate, Germany. That's how we got the Palatine lion, guys. See? Out of Palinate, Germany, Karlstadt, okay? Elizabeth Christ. In a film released in 2014 entitled Kings of Karlstadt, it's confirmed that the grandfather Friedrich came from the small village of Karlstadt, southwest Germany. The village, which is now the hometown to 1,200 people, has been home to these people for hundreds of years. But they don't call themselves the King of Germany. No, everybody's American. 3 generations that built an empire. There's a biographical book written by this person, okay, where you can catch up. These people just got here from the kingdom of Bavaria, now Germany. Okay, now we know why we're getting these salutes. Okay, y'all think I'm joking? Why the Duke, the Doge, which means leader, is giving salutes for this country. They know why they're doing this and they know why they're here. Guys, listen. And they know why they're not saying that they're, quote, Bavarian American. Why would they do that? They're never going to say they're Bavarian American. They're claiming the right to rule through Judah. She know what time it is. She know who she married. Remember, she tried to take over after he died. They're claiming their right to rule, guys. They're claiming their kingship. But this is what I got to say to Israel. So when all Israel saw the king ain't hearkened unto them, the people answered the king, saying, what portion have we in David? Neither have we inheritance in the son of Jesse. To your tents, O Israel. Now see to thine own house, David. So Israel departed unto their tents. Let's get the fuck out of here. Let's get the fuck out of here. These ain't our tents, man. They got to go. We will be out of the system. Trust and believe. Trust and believe. And ain't you thankful for that Y curse now? Ain't you thankful that it couldn't be no mofo from this area over here Okay, because they claiming this fool is from this line. So if Judah has betrayed us and this mofo is from this line, how the hell is he coming to save me? Please tell me, because I'm over here with Ephraim. I'm over here with Joseph. I don't know nothing about this character and these folks, because my folks was told to go to their tent, okay? Because I got a feeling that in my tent, this why curse ain't in my tent. All right, so it would be in my best interest to stay in my tent. All right, it would be in my best interest not to be looking for no kings. Okay, check this out. At that time, saith the Lord, they shall bring out the bones of the kings of Judah, and the bones of his princes, and the bones of his priests, and the bones of his prophets, and the bones of the inhabitants of Jerusalem. Remember, ain't no Israelite